with Daniel Hubbard, the owner of Real Deal Exteriors, the premier exterior contractor for North Alabama. Daniel, the other day, my neighbor got new windows. And I looked at my own windows. They don't rattle. Why would I get windows?
Well, typically the windows are on the same timeline as most of the other components of a new home. Usually a 20-year life is the expectancy of most products. When the house was built, it was a builder's grade, I guess you would say, on most of the products. And windows came in many different types: aluminum, vinyl, and wood. And depending on the age and the product and its expectancy to perform, a lot of those older windows don't perform as well as some of the newer products that are out there.
What do you mean by perform?
Performance means it's got a charged window with a gas that creates resistance to temperature, infiltrating the pane. Then the mechanics, as far as how the sashes operate, sometimes that's a failing component. Some of the hardware that fastens the top and bottom sashes together, those components give up. If it's a wood-related window and it wasn't maintenance correctly, then you'll find a hazing or a glazing that goes on in the pane, and a lot of that's typically replacement only. It's not a repair option.
Well, let's go back to the gas business, because I don't even want to talk about how some of the machinery still doesn't work. But my windows are just single pane. They don't have any gas or any of that kind of stuff. I assume that if I replaced a window, it wouldn't be free. There's a cost to that.
Yeah.
Why would I, if it's not leaking, why would I do that? Is there a savings for me somewhere?
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the programs, government programs out there, also give you a rebate to invest in your home for energy savings.
Oh, I did see that. Yes, you're right.
And then, like I said, the benefits from the newer products and the windows, the options for those windows include a reflective tinting. In some cases, certain elevations of the home, we put reflective tinting on that are primarily exposed to the sun. We give you an energy savings. The thickness of the pane, it's a double pane product, so the thickness dictates the ability to resist temperature infiltration. And then like all the sealing components of it, typically those are the first places to give up, and that's where you have a lot of your weather infiltration, temperature infiltration is through your window sashes where they actually function, opening and shutting.
So earlier you educated me to ventilation in the roof as an energy savings. Now you're saying that my windows could result in an energy savings?
Absolutely. One of the benefits, not only aesthetically, you'll get a peace of mind that you're not going to have any water infiltration that might have been going on before. The installation procedure will be current and according to the manufacturer's installation guidelines, so you're going to get a better performing product, and then it's also going to incorporate the energy savings that you purchase. And windows have options, and that's where the consultation comes in. We don't just bulk rate windows. We offer variety of types and styles, and then we usually recommend what best suits the need of your home at that particular application. Like if it was brick, we would use a replacement rather than the difficulty in the installation would require a replacement window, where on an elevation that had siding, we would go with a new construction window, which is better seals.
What's the difference between a replacement and new?
The way they're installed. A new construction window has a nailing flange that receives a nail every 1.5 inches all the way around the perimeter, which is also caulked in and taped to the substrate, your sheathing of the home, and or siding if you're going to do a re-siding. And it's just a better seal, a better fit, less chance for it to bind or come out of plumb or square. Replacement window, of course, is a hung window, which hangs from screws that are fastened and plugged from the outside, from the inside to the outside of the frame of the window. So, depending on the home, elevation and the type of siding it has dictates what type of window we use.
Now, what about, like in my house, it's dated, I'm sure. So many of the houses of the same vintage as mine have what I would call a rectangular window with a half circle above it or something like that. Can you replace those as well?
Yes, and that's one of the typical failures that you have with your half round or your picture windows is a seal failure, which is actually in the pane itself, and it allows the gas to escape, and it creates a hazing inside where moisture has infiltrated the two panes, and that typically can be resolved with the replacement. And like I said, we don't always recommend a total replacement. Sometimes we isolate our work to certain elevations that had more weather exposure than others. So it's according to every home's needs.
So again, your expertise versus my not even understanding what I'm looking at. Now, is it possible to take a window that I just described, the rectangle with the sort of half circle on the top? I'm sure there's a better name for it.
Elliptical.
That's it. Is it possible to change that when you replace windows, or is that something that homeowners don't normally do?
Like I said, depending on the failure of the window, in some cases people think the window needs to be replaced just because the trim that conceals its installation has failed. And that's where knowledge and consultation comes in, and I usually advise homeowners we can go with a non-wood product, a composite product that won't rot as a trim component and not even have to replace the window. So, we specifically design repairs or replacement for your needs, and that's part of the courtesy or the responsibility we have as a knowledgeable installer is to come up with economical solutions.
Well, I like that word economical. I like the word knowledgeable. So then, my thought was, well, gee, you call somebody and every window goes out, but you're saying that there's a method to this and that I wouldn't have to change everything in my house, and you don't do business that way.
Yeah, and like I said, I always, specifically tailor my services to the home's needs. Every home has different age or, products that age differently and have different timelines, and then exposure dictates the life of a product. And a lot of times that's my responsibility or obligation to the homeowner is to basically cost engineering, figure out the economical solutions or problems without, a total replacement. Like I said, it's specific to the home's needs and its timelines, the ability to perform, is the way we guide or consult with them.
I like that. I guess that's why you say get real.
Yes, if your home could talk, it'd tell you get real deal exteriors.